Hey, LinkedIn user and YouTube, this is Francis here from Exasystems. It's my pleasure today to have Chris Wappler from EPG. He's the Senior Account Executive. He's out of Pittsburgh. Hey, Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Francis. How are you today?
Pretty good. How do you cope with the quarantine? What has changed in your work in the last 3 months?
Well, it's been a pretty big change. I mean, for the better part of the last 30 years, I've actually worked from a home office and traveled a lot. So I'd say 24 of those 30 years, I'm used to working remote. I've worked remote for that length of time,
Right.
But I also travel. So I'm used to being, 3 or 4 weeks a month, getting on planes and meeting with customers face to face. So this is probably the least amount of travel I've done since the 1980s.
Yeah.
So that's been a very, very big change for sure.
A big change. Hey, tell me, Chris, who's EPG and what's your value proposition?
Sure. So EPG is a supply chain software company. We do supply chain execution solutions. Our North American headquarters is in Charlotte, North Carolina, and our global headquarters and center of excellence is in Beauport, Germany. We focus on warehouse management software and voice recognition software used for things like voice picking in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a well-known solution that's been used now for about 20 years. A little known fact about us, we're probably the only software company who does WMS and voice that actually runs a 3PL distribution center. And we use all our own technology in that distribution center. So not only do we create the solutions for customers, but we use them ourselves every day. So we have a very good feel for supply chain logistics, the importance of getting product out to customers. So it gives us a unique perspective.
Hey, I know we don't have a crystal ball, but what's your take? What's your input on the economy in the next 12 to 18 months?
I think it's going to be really a mixed bag. I think there are going to be some vertical markets that really thrive. And other vertical markets that really, really struggle. I also think we're probably going to see some evolving markets that could offer some new growth potential. Some things nobody's thought about because there are a lot of smart people in this world, and they're up to the challenge of solving problems, and that's how new businesses and new industries get created. So I think industries like grocery and essential home products are going to thrive because even as now the world's opening back up and people are getting back out. There's still going to be a lot of people that are cautious and stay indoors. So they'll be eating at home a bit more and spending more time at home. But I think other industries are going to maybe struggle, like restaurants. I think a lot of restaurants may close for good. Other restaurants are going to have to reinvent themselves like they've been doing already with takeout and delivery with Grubhub and Uber Eats and things like that. I think what we're going to see this year is an explosion in e-commerce like nobody ever imagined. I mean, e-commerce, as you well know, has been growing. Every holiday season, they shatter the records from the previous years. But I think now a lot of people who are afraid to shop online have had to for the last 2-3 months. And now they're used to it, and it's becoming a convenience. And I think when we get to the holiday season, that October, November, December timeframe, there's going to be an explosion like we've never seen.
How do you see voice picking playing an important role in that aspect in e-commerce?
So, certainly the big advantage of voice is working hands and eyes free, and that provides significant productivity gains. It can provide productivity of gains of 10 to 35% over a handheld barcode device, or using paper pick lists. There are still companies out there on paper, believe it or not, in this day and age. But the challenge is going to be, if I'm in e-commerce, how do I get more orders out? I can only have so many people. There's only so much space. Yes, maybe I can add some people, buy some more equipment. But I really need to find ways to be as efficient as possible. And voice is a solution that can do that.
And in a nutshell, how does Lydia from EPG works on these devices?
Sure, that's a great question. So, you and I have known each other a long time, and we've worked with voice solutions for 15 years between yourself and myself. The technology has changed rapidly in the last 5 years. So Lydia Voice is actually, we write the voice recognition engine, and we're using the same technology that Amazon and Google are using. So we've heard of Amazon Alexa, Google Home Assistant. They're using something called deep neural networks, which is a machine learning technology. And we're using the same thing, except we're writing that technology in with noise cancellation software, so that it can handle the noisy distribution centers and warehouses and manufacturing environments. And so what that's also allowed us to do at the same time this technology is hit the scene, so has Android in the supply chain. So as you know, many people now are moving to Android rugged mobile devices. And so as we've developed this new voice recognition software, we've made it so it can run on these multi-purpose devices, like a Zebra TC52 touch computer, or a wearable WT6000, or an ET51 Android tablet. So unlike 15, 20 years ago when there were voice-specific computers to do these applications, if I'm running these devices today, I can just add the Lydia application to it and optimize my workflow to get those productivity gains.
Any interesting new development that EPG is working on?
Well, so again, you know, voice has primarily been used in the warehouse for the last 20 plus years, but there's a new interest. And I mentioned a couple of times, hands and eyes free when you're working. So I've been working with some customers who are interested in voice to do maintenance and inspection applications. So if you think about companies maybe that have their own fleet of vehicles, delivery trucks, for example, they go through, you know, they have a department that goes through maintenance and inspection. And a lot of times they have paper checklists, or they have a computer they have to walk back to and read the screen to see what they need to do. And then they have to type in, you know, maybe they're doing tire depth measurements or brake pad thickness measurements, or they're checking to see if an oil change needs to be done. So now we're taking this technology, putting it on these mobile computers, and we can do hands and eyes free inspection and maintenance for vehicle applications.
But before we end this interview, I have some questions, Chris. You have to go through them. You have no choice. So are you a baseball or hockey fan?
I'm a hockey fan.
Hockey fan. Who's your
Pittsburgh
team?
Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux.
There you go. What's your favorite musical artist?
My favorite musical artist, as I've gotten older, I've become more of maybe a country music star. I like Blake Shelton quite a bit.
Who's washing the dishes at home?
My wife more than I do.
Oh, you've been very honest. That's pretty good. Hey, lastly, did you wash your hands before this interview?
Probably about 30 minutes ago. So not right before the interview, but I did wash them in the last hour. That's
excellent. We're safe. Chris Wappler from EPG, thank you very much again for your time.
Thanks, Francis. It was a pleasure. I always enjoy your banter, and I appreciate you doing these capsules for customers. I'm sure there's a lot of good information, and with people being stuck more at home, gives them a chance to catch up and really learn on new things. So you're doing a great service for the industry.